Hello, it's Bobi, aka Paginator, and today we're going to be using some more fun prompts from Margarete Mitchell. So this is part of a series where I use these prompt cards created by Margarete Mitchell, and I will link her YouTube channel and shop and stuff in the space below if you want to check it out. But I have a whole bunch of these cards from her, and I've only used just a very few, and it's been ages since I've done one of these. And today I just want to create something without working on like an entire journal project, so this is perfect for just making something today. If you've seen this series before, you'll know this, but I am putting everything I make in this ring-bound journal I made out of old bingo cards, and we have a few things that have already been made in here. This actually wasn't part of this series, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it. This is something we did as a project for Louisa Heinzel, for one of her good friends, Zasha. For his birthday, everybody made a birthday card using this little blue bird printable, and I, of course, put a cowboy hat on and did some cowboy things, being from Wyoming, the cowboy state. Anyway, we have this vintage collage bit here. This is just a piece that's in here that could possibly be used as a substrate. It is coffee dyed braille paper, and that's about it that's in here right now. So we will create something to add to this today, and again using these cards. My thought is I'm going to draw 3 cards today. Usually I just do one at a time, but I'm feeling like, you know what, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's pull 3 cards and see if we can incorporate all 3 things into one make. So what I'm going to do is draw the 3 cards, and then I'm going to take a couple of minutes to gather some supplies and things, and then we'll come back and make something. So here we go. Here is card number 1. It is a place. Let's see, if you look on these cards, they're kind of collaged and stuff, and then the ticket is where the prompt is. So this one is a place. Okay, let's search for number 2. A geometric shape. And brown paper. Alright, so I need to find some brown paper, and then also something that represents a place and a geometric shape. Alright, let's see what we can make. Alright, my brain has been cooking some ideas, and I've gathered some things here. So you can see I've got my glass mixed media mat down, and my caffeine because it's morning when I'm filming this, and I am tired. But I've also got some Grit Paste Snowfall, some Distress Mica Stain in Fallen Acorn, some Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper, some various pieces of paper here. This is my punching guide for the bingo card thing, and we've got a couple of old photos and a Tim Holtz paper doll. I'm not sure which one of these things I'm going to be using yet, but I've got kind of a rough plan of what I want to do. I also am going to need my black soot Distress Oxide, and that is somewhere over here. Ink, not oxide, but you know, almost the same thing. One other thing I will say, currently on my TV is playing the Tim Holtz Ideology release for Halloween 2024. It is a live video, and I've got it muted right now because he is showing the new item, so I can just look up and see what he's showing. But when it gets to the makes, if I'm not done filming this, I'm going to have to pause you and come back later, because really that's why I watch the lives, to see the makes and see what other people create. And if we're being honest, mostly I'm there to see what Louisa has made, but I'm excited for the other makers too. They all do an amazing job. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Tim Holtz, his company, created several of the things here on my table, and he just creates all kinds of fun, yummy goodies for artists to play with. I think I want to get my holes punched just so that I don't forget that part, because sometimes I can lose myself in the design aspect and forget that I need to make holes at some point for this thing to attach. This is black paper, so I'm going to be using a silver pen to just mark where those are, and it won't matter because that'll get punched out. I strongly suggest, if you're going to do any kind of ring bound anything, make yourself a punching guide. It will help so much. I'm going to just use the crocodile, line up over the marks that I made, and punch. Now for some reason my finger dauber has run away, but I do want to get a little bit of black inside here, so I'm going to try to do this with the ink pad. And it's going to look terrible. Alright, so this is our base. On the back side of this is this paper. This is from an old Halloween scrap pad. I don't really care what the back side looks like. I'm just going with the front for this, and I can always cover this later if it really gets too annoying me with the bright lime green. For our prompts, we have to have a geometric shape, a place, and some brown paper. So I am going to be taking the Ferris wheel from this collage paper. That is going to be our geometric shape, and it's also going to help us represent our place. It's going to be part of the place aspect of this. But before I do that, I want to have some blue. So I want a torn edge look. I'm just going to take and pull this here. We might need more than that. Okay, and it's just going to go along like this. And I am going to take some chipped sapphire, distress oxide, and go around the edges of that. So first we'll just go across the top. And it's hardly going to show up, but I will know it's there, and I'm the one that has to live with it. So there we go. I'm going to place this not quite to the very bottom, and you'll see why in a little bit. That very bottom is going to get covered. But we're going to glue this down. Come back with our chipped sapphire, and we're going to go down the sides here. I won't need to do the bottom because, like I said, that is going to be covered. Alright, so far we've got a kind of a black patterny wallpaper, old-timey background with some blue on it. You might be wondering what the heck I'm thinking. Well, we're going to start to build a beach side kind of amusement park scene with the Ferris wheel, and we're going to use brown paper, which is one of our required items, to create a bit of a beach for the Ferris wheel and some people to sit on. So the blue represents, of course, the water, and we're just going to have some brown paper kind of going like this, and the Ferris will be somewhere, and the people, and so on. Now I want to be able to have, for the next thing I'm going to do before this actually gets glued down, I want to have the exact size and shape that I want. So I'm going to try to do this without screwing it up. Okay, so this piece is going to be our beach. Now, you might be asking yourself, you have a beachy scene, why is there a black sky? I don't know. This is just how I envisioned it in my mind. Our next step is going to be to ink around this. I'm going to use ground espresso. I kind of want to use vintage photo, but then I thought, you know what, a little bit darker color might be better. So we're going to go all the way around the edges. I had a couple of thoughts about what to do to give this some texture, and I saw in Tim Holt's video not that long ago that he was doing some interesting things with texture paste. So we're going to do a little experiment today. This is going to be the first time I've ever done this. Normally what I would do is crumple this up and then use the distress oxide to like kind of ink over the creases. I'll give you an example here. It won't hurt if we do this as well. Like that. Okay, but what we're going to do is use some of this snowfall grit paste. It is translucent paste. It has a glitter, clear glitter in it. And in the video, Tim Holt said that any of the texture pastes that are translucent, you can add color to, and it will change the color of the paste. So this is my experiment that we're going to try. We're going to use Fallen Acorn Distress Mica Stain and the Snowfall texture paste and try to create something magical. So this could be an epic fail. It could be amazing. We don't really know what's going to happen yet, but, you know, keep watching to see if I cry. So this texture paste goes quite a long ways, but I also don't want to like mix it up and get the color I want and then not have enough. So I don't know how much to try. Okay, we're going to go with this much right here. Maybe a tiny bit more. Okay. We've got to shake this up really well, so pardon me for a moment. Okay. Does it look like sand? Now I do have some dyes and things in lighter brown colors, but again, I'm kind of doing a darkish look. We've got dark blue for the water, we've got a black kind of skyscape, and now we've got this dark brown dyeing the texture paste. So I guess I'm like mentally preparing myself for Halloween, because like honestly, when is there ever a bad time to celebrate Halloween? There isn't one. Alright, we're going to just try to get this all over our brown paper. If it goes as well as I hope it will give us a nice textured beach. If you want to try this and you're like, gosh, I don't have the snowfall or any translucent texture paste, I kind of wonder if you had some clear gesso and like really fine sand, if you could do this. I don't know. If any of you out there have any other ideas or thoughts on how to make this work, definitely let me know. It's going to be quite thick on there, that's okay. I want to move this to the glass and just let it dry. I might get my heat tool out here in a little bit. And while that's starting to dry, I'm going to go clean this off, because I can't stand to like leave a mess on this stuff. I think I really want to let this air dry actually, because when you use a heat tool on texture paste, it can bubble if you get too hot. So here's my thought. I'll work on a couple of other things with this, and then by the time I'm through with those, the makes will probably start in Tim's video, and then I'll need to stop working on this anyway. So here's where I'm going to need some magical input from you guys. Now I know you won't see this video till it's all done. So cast your votes in the comments below. Did I pick the one that you liked, or would you have voted for something else? We have these three girls here. We have these two ladies here. This is a real actual vintage photo, as is this one. This lady who just looks joyful. She looks a little bit like, is her name Jennifer Goodwin, that played Snow White in Once Upon a Time? Anyway, we've got those three. And then we also need to take care of cutting out this Ferris wheel. This collage paper is just lovely. There's a Ferris wheel right there, so we're going to roughly snip and then do a little bit more detailed cutting. Because this is so small, I'm going to set it higher up, kind of probably on the beach, so I'm imagining it's going to be somewhere here. I don't know if I'm going to keep this, because it's talking about like Paris and stuff, so maybe let's not keep it. I've been trying to decide, do I want to put this down now and have like the sand come up over the top edge of this, or do I want it over top? And I kind of wonder if it's going to be too difficult to stick down on top of all that texture. So let's glue it down now. With this kind of stuff, I like to use a glue stick. I put it back where it's supposed to go. Imagine that. Good old Elmer's washable school glue stick. Just going to try to get some good coverage here. This is another good thing about the glass mat. You can put, like if I accidentally get some glue on it and stuff, it'll clean off really easily. I love this thing. Okay, so I'm going to try to bump it right up here. Just get that nice and smooth down. So let's take this, I mean it's still drying, but let's kind of pop it here. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have scooted that down just a tiny bit. Is it okay? Or maybe I'll just move this up and trim that bottom part off. That would work. Alright, this might help us decide what we want to do. So we have these girls here. We have these. And we have this one. For some reason I'm thinking this one won't quite work. I don't know. I think it's maybe just too light. Maybe it's the funky way the light is bouncing off of it. I don't know. This where it's dark for some reason, I think it would be okay. And these girls I really like. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think I'm going to have to go with these girls just because they're freestanding and we don't have that square shape. Of course I could fussy cut around that lady, but I think that would take away some of the charm of the photo. let's go with these girls. So we'll wait for this to dry. I'll watch the rest of Tim's video, see what everybody makes, and then I'll come back and finish up this creation. I have to say though, so far I'm really pleased with this, because we do see the color of the dye, but we're also seeing the shiny of the glitter in the paste and some of the mica. And we can still see that little demo mark that I made there with the oxide, so I think it looks cool so far. We'll see you back in a bit. I have been watching the Tim Holtz video and been so inspired, but it's all Halloween stuff, and that doesn't really apply to like what we're making today. But anyway, that's been really, really fun. And while I was waiting for this to dry, I did do a couple of spritzes with the same mica spray that we dyed the paste with, this fallen acorn. I just thought the background needed something, so you can see the way that that's picking up in the light. And this is nice and curled up now, but it is dry, and look how shiny it is, and it's got this gorgeous texture on it. I think the next time I try this, I need to smoothen out things a little bit better, because you can see like there's a lot of just lines where the palette knife, where I used that, I need to smooth that a little bit better. But overall, I'm really, really happy with this. So now I need to glue it down, and I think I am going to scoot that up so it's flush with the edge of the blue, and then I'll just trim off the excess. So I might as well just trim it now, it'll probably be easier. I'm also thinking I want to blend a little bit around this with the black soot ink, and I can't, again, find my finger sponge for black soot, so we're going to take my finger tool, and I'm just going to try this and see if that helps kind of blend some of these edges of the collage paper. I mean, the edges are still clearly outlined, but it did darken it up a little bit, so, I mean, there it is. Alright, as I suspected, their feet don't want to hold on, so we'll try a little bit extra glue, and if that doesn't work, maybe we'll try some Fabri-Tac or something. Alright, we are going to add a sentiment that says, "I'm happiest when I'm with you." And I thought, these girls look like they're great friends, and they're just enjoying a day at the beach. Maybe this is back in the day in somewhere like Atlantic City, or somewhere really exciting like a beach town where it's a special, like, occasion to go there with your family and that kind of stuff. So now we just have to decide where to put it. We can put it down here, up here. Let's put it up high. Usually I put my sentiments down low. I did ink it up with some ground espresso just to pick up some more brown to like kind of go with this. We didn't end up seeing very much of the water, and that's okay, because we can tell that they're at the beach and that kind of thing. So our next and last step is going to be to put this back into the bingo journal. So there we go. We have our place, our geometrical shape, and our brown paper. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this creation. I know the pieces in here are kind of all over the place. We've got this next to like bright purple, like, you know, but it's okay. It's just a miscellaneous collection. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this one. I think it turned out pretty cute. And also, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.